Well, thank you for taking the time to come with the new album on March the 29th. It's good to talk to you guys. Let's get caught up a little bit. Cone, you've been involved in Operation MD, which has been taking up your time, right? Steve-O, you've been directing people's videos and doing other things on your own, I guess, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And Derek hasn't been in the news at all, so we have no idea what's happening with him.
I've just been working on this record, really.
Okay. Okay, I've had a chance to go through it a whole bunch of times, and this doesn't sound like any other Sum41 record that I've ever heard. And I mean that in the most positive way. I mean, the production's really good.
Thanks.
I mean, you've really come into your own as a producer.
Thank you.
And I mean, there's piano, there's other effects on it, there's a different way. I mean, there's one song on here, Time for You to Go, or is it Jessica Kills? One sounds unlike any other Sum41 song I've ever heard. So let's talk about the fact that it's been 3 years, some turmoil, some not, and it's time to get back to work. So let's go through the process of the record.
Well, for me, I was working the whole time for the past 3 years, just writing. It was very sort of different process than we've ever done because it was recorded. We were never really making a record. It was just like writing music, recording music here and there, whenever a song came, and it would come really quickly too. It was just like, oh, here's a song, 10 minutes, I finished it, and then we'd go and record it. And then 6 months later, I'd forget about it, and then be like, oh yeah, I have this song, and then going through my tapes and stuff like that. And then after 3 years of that, we had enough for a record, and then it was just sort of, then we went in and really did it for real.
And where was this all done in LA?
Yeah.
Was it you the primary songwriter? Or you guys contribute or
Derek's primary,
Yeah,
and he
Derek
would call. Well, I lived there, so that
I forgot you moved, and
I
you're the only
moved, he
holdout.
stayed. So like then he and I would just work on stuff. I don't know. It wasn't even regular, really. It was like every
really
once in a
weird.
while, like we'd hang out and work on things. But on the previous record, we had really like once a week we'd get together, and then Cone would come in once a month. Whereas this time it was kind of like that.
Sporadic,
Then we wouldn't do that at all. Then we'd start up again. So it changed.
It was very like
This is the way to do
unconventional
it.
and very haphazard in a way. It was just like whatever goes, it's just whenever, and it was just.
The initial idea was this was going to be an EP. Like last year it was going to come out.
I remember something about that.
And so some of the songs that are on the album were actually going to be on the EP, and then the EP just kind of
just
evolved
kept
into
growing.
an album. Yeah.
Well, this is how Artie Peace did their last album.
Oh yeah.
Rain has his place in Brentwood, and he would write stuff, and then every once in a while the band would come down and they'd work on stuff, and then go home and forget about it, and then come back down when Rain had some more stuff. So is that, I guess, what we're talking about here as well? Almost?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Pretty
any
similar,
of us
yeah.
were like, we didn't really even think we were, not that we weren't ever going to do an album, obviously we were, we just didn't know when it was going to
We
happen.
were just like accumulating music,
Yeah.
and we knew we would put it out somehow, sometime. We just didn't care when or
Yeah, there's no
how it was
deadline,
going to be.
Whereas in the past, there have been some
Well, so you go into
hard
make a record.
deadlines, like with Does This Like Infected, we were on tour, and then we had like
2 months.
this real harsh section where it was like, this has to happen in here, and then we're going away again, and then what we had is what was on the record. It was this time it took a while.
I guess that's the cool thing about being a mature band, in that you've had some success. You can take your time. Nobody's banging you on the head saying, "Record, do on this
the
day."
record company was definitely on my ass, but we just said fuck off, who cares?
I guess the first indication that we had of a song of new material was I guess was it Scumfuck last?
Yeah.
I don't see that on here.
Well, that's not the right track listing.
Oh.
Some of those are working titles. I don't know why that actually even went out.
Oh, okay. So.
But it's on there.
It is on there.
Well, where
they
is it?
call it.
But no, because it starts
third
with
song.
Its
or
third
something.
song all comes to an end.
Oh,
It's
okay.
actually going to be called Scumfuck.
Even with the beginning bit?
Yeah, it's all one song.
The whole thing. But we didn't release the beginning bit.
No.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Is it, somebody told me that there's like a 12-minute 3-part song?
Yeah,
There is. It's still not the right titles, but it's Crash, Sick of It All, and that's not even the right title either. Happiness Machines.
Okay, well, I'm glad I have this as reference. So I feel completely prepared for the rest of this interview because I was going to go through it song by song, but there's no point.
Yeah, if you listen to those 3 songs back to back, they all kind of link.
They're
into
also
each other.
3. It's all one thing.
Okay.
But we ID'd them as 3 songs.
Why did you? Why write a piece like that with, I guess, movements or?
Everything was like by accident in a way. Everything, every single bit of this record came, like I never sat down once and said, I'm gonna write a song. It just, I'm like, okay, it's coming, here it is. And it came out really quick, and it was just whatever it was.
Like contractions.
Just like vomit.
Musical contractions. You said vomit, I said birth, but still. I
just puked this whole record out.
yeah, you puked that scumfuck.
Okay. So here, I'm going to give you that, and let's try and figure out exactly what we can talk about then. So, Reason to Believe sounds like it's a finished product with.
Yeah, that was actually the Reason to Believe was the first song that I wrote for the record, and I didn't even actually write it for Sum41. I thought it was because some other bands were asking me to write for them, and I thought, okay, maybe I should just have some songs just in case, and because we weren't making a record yet. It was right when we got off tour, and that was just the first thing that came out. And a couple of the songs, a couple of the parts anyway, in some of these songs were I was originally intending just to have in case somebody asked me for music.
Isn't the intro to that off like a demo from Chuck?
The drum beat, yeah, was something I was working on.
For which song?
It was just for Reason to Believe.
Okay.
The intro.
It fades up, and
Yeah.
then the big heavy drums come in, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
drum beat I had for a song with Chuck. It just never turned into anything.
Okay.
I'm lost. Which song are we talking about? The first one? The way it starts, the intro song.
With the
Okay.
stopping and clapping. And
Right,
stuff.
okay.
How about the single "Screaming Bloody Murder"?
Scream Really Murder was a song that Brown Tom and I wrote together. He sent me the music, and when I heard it, I just loved it. And I changed a few things, and then I just started singing stuff, and it came out really quick. Just as soon as I heard it, I just had this idea of what to sing, and wrote the words right away. And it really didn't take that long. Nothing really took long at all in this.
And "Screaming Bloody Murder" is, I think, a good title for an album.
Yeah, I like it.
Sounds cool.
Yeah. How personal is this record? I mean, if you want to dig into the lyrics, you hear some stuff that.
Yeah, it's hard to explain for me because, like I said, everything just kind of really came out, and I didn't think about it, and I just let words come out. I didn't even know what they meant. I wasn't even trying to say, okay, I'm gonna write a song about this or whatever. It's just words spinning around, and just write them down, and I'd forget about it. And because it took 3 years, sometimes it'd be like 2 years later, I'd be like, oh yeah, that song, or I just had no idea what I was doing. I don't feel like I did anything really.
So we have 14 songs here. Are there more?
There's a lot
Yeah,
more.
there's a bunch more.
This is the first time we've ever had more. Every time it's been, we have 12 songs. There's a 12-song album.
Yeah.
Most of the B-sides are ones that I wrote that didn't make the album.
They didn't make the A side, that's all. They're still on the B side
C-side,
of the album.
C-side, yeah.
They just, unfortunately, you live in a time where there's no longer a B side. Can't flip it over.
That's true.
You're a bonus track guy,
I'm
just like Noel Gallagher.
Very bonus, yeah.
I have to ask before I forget. How's your back?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's.
What happened? Just a herniated disc, a slipped disc?
Well, I've messed up the same disc twice, so it's pretty fucked now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I don't know. I just kind of deal with it.
Well, how do you deal with it? What treatments have you had?
I don't really do much now. It's just sort of you just sort of live
Maintenance?
through it.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do.
No, backs can be an awful thing.
Totally. No, it's painful. But it's
Well, this way you don't have to carry your amps and guitars around.
yeah.
Get somebody else to take care of the baggage. So the album comes out on the 29th of March. It's already doing well on Canadian radio. It goes to American radio, I guess, next week.
Yeah.
And that's a long lead time. I mean, that's two months lead up to the album.
Yeah.
Well, the album's probably gonna leak anyway, so.
Well, if it does, nobody will know the names of the songs because they're all wrong. I got to go back and change that blog entry now that I mentioned it. So have you got art? I guess you're working on artwork. You're working on.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen
We
much.
did a photo shoot for it about 6 months ago. I never saw it. I don't know. what's going
A
on.
guy started working on an album cover probably 5 months ago, and we haven't seen anything about that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have one.
It's very typical Sum41 way of working. It's nothing
We have
ever
no
works
video.
right.
We have no video either.
Like Derek, everybody else working on the record feels like they haven't done anything.
Just all of a sudden, this date's coming up. It's like,
Hopefully,
oh,
like Derek,
Yeah.
it'll just vomit.
We were supposed to do a music video, but now we have to go away for 5 weeks to Europe. So
what's in Europe?
We're doing tour.
touring and-
Tours.
and then we go to Australia actually.
In Australia.
So we have no video.
Take a camera along, do one of those
That's right, yeah.
down and dirty performance videos. Well, and then after that, I guess you'll be spending an awful lot of time in North America.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean-
doing a full world tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've sort of kissed everyone goodbye, and now it's, it's we're in for the long haul on this one. It's going to be long. I mean, we've had our break, and now that's over.
I have to ask about Gil Norton. There was a story that Gil Norton was actually hired to produce the album, but
Originally, yeah.
and I thought that was really cool because Pixies, Foo Fighters. I mean, he's a guy that really knows what he's doing. But it ended up being your show again.
Call it the control freak in me, I guess. I don't know. I think we just had a different process. We started out together, and he has made some great records, and we really liked him as a person, but we've just been doing this for so long in our own way that bringing somebody else in.
I mean, Derek and I have been playing together since we were 15, so it's like to bring in someone else. It was for me especially. It was like having I could just easily talk to Derek directly, and then it was making it complicated with having another person there. So it didn't really work. But he's a nice guy, but it just wasn't working.
Where did you record the album? Because there's
We really only
Couple
recorded
different
in
places.
houses.
Well, I did the drums
We
at
did
Capitol.
Capitol.
but
It was the only studio we
a
went to
house.
for about a week, but everything else was done in a house. All my parts, I mean, I was in, Steve did a week, and then Cone did about a few days. You were at Perfect Sound House, right?
Yeah.
So we'd already got the house by then. We rented a house in the Hollywood Hills, and it had a studio in it, and we just lived there and recorded. Then when Cone was gone, I was there for like another 2 more months, and I just had all my friends move in, and we just made I would play guitar around everybody, all this chaos, people partying and reaping the benefits.
How much was the damage deposit?
We did get a list.
We got a bill. I don't know what it was, but a lot of stuff got.
that ever get
broken.
paid?
There's a lot of crazy stories from that place. But yeah, I made the record in the midst of chaos.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out. Like I said, it doesn't sound like any other Sum41 record. I think there's a real maturity to a lot of the sounds. You're taking some chances with some different arrangements. I mean, we talked about the piano. There's one sounds like a drive-in American indie rock song on there.
Oh yeah.
Which is an early favorite of mine. I think it's track 5, whatever it's called.
Time
We
for
don't
you
even
to go,
know.
probably.
Time for you to go.
So, I wish you guys all the best of luck.
Cool.
Thanks.
And when you do come back here, I have a request, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Does it involve the slide?
You
right
know
now.
what? Well, no, you can go down the slide today if you want. It's open.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit that thing.
You want to hit this stuff?
You just got to be careful if
Do it
you're wearing
together.
anything synthetic because it tends to get a little staticky and you might burst into flame by the time you hit the bottom.
That's cool.
All right. Well,
Another
thanks,
good
guys.
update.
Cool. Thank
Good
you.
luck,
Thanks
and
a lot.
I'll take that back just in case it gets leaked.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.